Late one restless night in the dimly lit corridors of Spencer Publications' executive wing, little Kelly Spencer, wrapped in her soft blue blanket and clutching her favorite stuffed rabbit, slipped from her bed when a faint but unmistakable whisper drifted through the half-open door of her parents' adjoining suite. Drawn by equal parts fear and curiosity, she tiptoed past the silent forms of her family portraits until she reached the threshold of the hallway that led toward the elevator banks, where the hushed voices of two grown-ups carried with sinister clarity. Her small heart fluttered as she recognized the cold, clipped tone of Dr. Grace Spencer, once revered surgeon and now outlawed by law and shame, boasting to someone unseen about how she blew up the case files, padded the charts, and made the hospital believe every word of the lie. The word blow up echoed in her head like thunder, though she was hardly old enough to understand what it truly meant. All she knew was that it sounded wrong, frightening. Kelly's eyes widened as the figure beside Grace laughed softly, a sound that sent chills down the child's spine, and she pressed herself against the wall, trembling, afraid of being discovered, but certain that she had to tell someone. At dawn, she crept into Wyatt's bedroom, where the steadfast brother to her mother Hope lay sleeping, and tugged at his sleeve. "Wyatt," she whispered, voice quavering like a frightened bird. "I heard Dr. Grace. She said she blew up the hospital files, and she lied about my daddy's surgery. She said she made them all believe her lies." Wyatt bolted upright, heart racing, his senses snapping into high alert as the gravity of her words sank in. He scooped her into his arms and held her trembling form tight, smoothing back her hair. Kelly's statement, though innocent, carried the weight of a bombshell. If Grace truly admitted to manipulating every medical record and destroying the evidence, then the last barrier between Grace and total impunity had been obliterated, and the Spencer family was in possession of the only proof that could doom her permanently. By midday, the whispers had spread through Spencer Manor like wildfire. Liam and Hope paced the grand living room, hopeful once for their daughter's peaceful life, now gripped by a terror that Grace would come for the last witness to her crimes and that Kelly would be swept up in the crossfire. Hope's eyes burned red with tears as she cradled Kelly against her chest, whispering, "It's okay, sweetheart, you're safe," though her hands shook so violently that the child clung to her even tighter. Liam, fists clenched at his sides, stared out the floor-to-ceiling windows, the city skyline of Los Angeles sprawling beneath him yet offering no comfort. In the kitchen, Wyatt and Bill Spencer, once fierce rivals, but now united by the threat of Grace's ruthless ambition, pored over the fragments of overheard confession, debating the perilous course ahead. Bill's jaw tightened as he envisioned Grace's swift retribution should they expose her. He recalled the night he found her in the safe house, her eyes glittering with panic and rage as she tried to flee. He'd blocked her path with a bulletproof calm that belied his fury, knowing that to set her free was to invite further chaos. Now, with Kelly's innocent testimony as the final piece of irrefutable proof, Bill's instinct was to strike back, to call the police and hand over the child's statement along with every shred of forensic evidence that Bridget and Finn had painstakingly gathered. Yet as he turned to Wyatt, whose face mirrored the conflict raging within him, he hesitated. Because once that evidence was in the authorities' hands, Kelly would be thrust into the harsh glare of a trial, her name splashed across tabloids and news reports, her childhood indelibly marked by the ugliness of adult betrayal. Hope, stepping into the debate with Kelly still in her arms, spoke softly but with an iron edge. "We won't let Grace threaten our family again. But we must protect our daughter. If we go to the cops now, they'll bring Kelly in to testify. She's just a little girl. She should never have to repeat those words in a courtroom, never have to face Grace's venomous stare." Liam's shoulders sagged as the enormity of the choice bowed his head. "But we can't keep hiding the truth," he said, voice cracking. "She admitted to everything. If we don't act, She'll wipe out every record of her crimes, disappear again, and no one will ever believe us. And more kids, more families could suffer. Wyatt sat Kelly down gently and met his brother's gaze. "There is a third way," he said, voice low but firm. "We use Kelly's story to bring down Grace once and for all, but we do it without putting her in the direct line of fire. We turn over the other evidence first, medical records, witness statements, billing frauds, and only mention Kelly's testimony if the rest is challenged. She stays home, far from the cameras, and we let the mountain of proof speak for itself." Bill nodded slowly, recognition dawning. "We rig the dominoes so there's no chance for Grace to topple them. By the time anyone thinks to ask for Kelly, it's too late. Grace will be in cuffs, her empire collapsed." Hope frowned, glancing at her daughter cozying up to the hearth, clutching her rabbit as if it were a shield. And what if the judge orders her to disclose any and all witnesses? Kelly is the only eyewitness to Grace's confession. Wyatt's gaze flickered to the gleaming family portraits lining the room. Images of Christmas mornings, birthday parties, quiet moments between parent and child, and hardened his resolve. "Then we deny Kelly's existence. We tell them Kelly was asleep, that she never heard a thing. We withhold her testimony on grounds of her age. The other proof is more than enough. If they demand more, we tell them we have no further evidence. Grace can't disprove what she did in Kelly's hearing because she'll be under lock and key, and we'll ensure Kelly is never called. We'll fight subpoenas tooth and nail." The family exchanged heavy glances, all the years of alliances and betrayals, of loves lost and found, compressed into a single decision point: justice for Liam's suffering, protection for Kelly's innocence, and the final takedown of Grace. As the golden LA sun dipped below the horizon, painting the mansion's stone facade in fiery hues, they reached their verdict. Liam picked up his phone and dialed Bridget Forrester, urgent words tumbling out as he explained their plan to present the hospital records and financial forensics first, keeping Kelly's account sealed as privileged family communication. Bridget's calm voice on the other end offered reassurance. She would prepare the evidence meticulously, annotate every chart, secure affidavits from Finn, the scrub nurses, the billing clerks, enough to build an airtight case. She agreed to a protective order that would prevent any court from compelling Kelly's testimony unless the defense could produce direct evidence of record tampering that the other proof didn't already cover. As the call ended, Hope gathered Kelly in her arms and kissed the top of her head, soft promises in her whisper. "I'm so proud of you, my brave girl. You did something so important, kept our family safe. Now you can rest." Kelly yawned, blinking sleepily, unaware of the legal maneuvers in motion, but comforted by her mother's steady heartbeat against her ear. Bill stepped forward, placing a hand on Liam's shoulder. "We'll do this right," he said. "We'll bring Grace down with the weight of the truth and shield Kelly from any fallout. She won't be the weapon Grace wields against us." Wyatt, casting one last look at the hall where Kelly had overheard the confession, murmured, "Tonight, the Spencer family stands together. Grace may have tried to play God with people's minds, but we will not let her dominate our lives. We will outmaneuver her with honor and cunning, and when the gavel falls, there will be no doubt that man's daughter heard the truth, but she never had to speak it." Under the silent watch of family portraits and the fading daylight, the Spencer clan solidified their pact. The evidence of Grace's crimes would be laid bare, her empire dismantled, and their little girl would remain cocooned in the safety of home. In the hush that followed, the air thick with determination and love, they stepped into the coming battle as one. Ready to expose the villain, protect the innocent, and reclaim their peace from the shadow of a fallen surgeon who had dared to think she could rewrite human lives. Brooke Logan and Stephanie Forrester have duked it out for decades on the bold and the beautiful, trading barbs and power plays as the ultimate soap opera rivals. But behind the cameras, the real-life bond between Catherine Kelly Lang, Brooke, and Susan Flannery, Stephanie, has endured long after Flannery's departure from the role 13 years ago. And now, after years of occasional reunions and scattered updates from their fellow cast members, Lang has revealed that Flannery is embarking on a new chapter down under, and that her longtime friend and rival will soon be halfway around the world. It's been nearly 13 years since Flannery brought Stephanie's formidable presence to life for the last time. The character, known for fiery one-liners, steel-trap determination, and occasional moments of unexpected vulnerability, left an indelible mark on daytime television and on every actor who stepped onto the set alongside her. After bidding farewell to the Forrester family mansion, Flannery traded scripts for a well-deserved retirement. She has directed a handful of stage productions and television episodes since then, but she's largely shunned the glare of the spotlight, preferring to invest her time in family, creative pursuits, and that most precious resource for any actor, rest. Despite stepping away from the daily grind of soap shooting schedules, Flannery never lost touch with the ensemble she helped shape. Over the years, cast reunions have provided glimpses of that enduring camaraderie. Pictures of group dinners shared on social media, short video shout-outs from writers' rooms, and affectionate posts marking birthdays and anniversaries. Now, Lang has given fans one of the most personal updates to date. She attended a farewell party for Flannery, who is about to make Australia her permanent home. Lang took to her Instagram story to post a group snapshot that radiated both celebration and bittersweet goodbyes. Alongside Flannery, Ashley Jones, another bold, and the beautiful alum, and a handful of close friends, Lang beamed for the camera. Her caption was simple and heartfelt. Susan's farewell party. She's moving to Australia. We're going to miss you so much, Susan. In a single line, Lang captured the dual nature of such moments, joy at new beginnings tempered by the ache of distance, even as lifelong bonds promise to endure. For fans of the bold and the beautiful, the news came as a shock. Many had held out hope that Stephanie might one day return to the screen. Perhaps to spar with Brooke once more, to deliver another killer monologue, or to reveal a secret that would turn Los Angeles and the Forrester fashion empire upside down. But Flannery's choice to be close to her daughter and grandchildren in Australia is deeply understandable. Family has always been at the center of Flannery's off-screen life. The same drive that fueled Stephanie's fierce protective instincts now fuels a grandmother's desire to be present for every milestone. In a way, Flannery's move mirrors one of Stephanie's most poignant storylines. Stephanie often stood at the crossroads between duty to her family's legacy and her personal desires. She wrestled with letting go of control, with trusting her children to steer the Forrester empire, and always, beneath the drama, there lay a profound devotion to blood ties. Now the actress behind that matriarch has followed her own heart, choosing real-world family over the fictional Forrester dynasty. Of course, distance need not mean a severing of ties. Lang and Flannery have promised to stay in close contact, leveraging video chats, holiday visits, and who knows, maybe even periodic guest appearances if the bold and the beautiful ever films in Australia. The show has ventured beyond California before, and in today's globalized production environment, geographic separation is often a matter of a plane ticket rather than a scripted impossibility. For Susan Flannery, Australia represents more than just proximity to loved ones. It's a land rich with natural beauty, thriving theater communities, and filmmaking opportunities that could entice a director of her caliber. Flannery has already dipped her toes into directing. Now she'll have the chance to explore new creative collaborations, perhaps mentoring emerging talents in Sydney or Melbourne, or lending her eye to productions on the other side of the Pacific. Her farewell party with Lang and Jones was more than a last hurrah. It was a testament to a sisterhood forged in the heat of performance, in the endless cycles of dramatic twists that define daytime TV. Behind every on-screen feud lies hours of shared rehearsals, script read-throughs, and off-duty laughter. Brooke and Stephanie's rivalry was legendary. Every scene crackled with tension, every confrontation became water-cooler fodder. Yet Lang and Flannery's friendship has been equally legendary behind the scenes, based on mutual respect, creative synchronicity, and genuine affection. As we imagine Flannery settling into her new home, immersed in family gatherings, perhaps wandering the shores of Bondi Beach with a script in hand, or exploring the hinterlands in search of directorial inspiration, it's easy to picture Lang keeping up the tradition of spontaneous visits and impromptu reunions. After all, Brooke hasn't exactly slowed down on screen, and Lang shows no signs of lessening her own commitments to the show. The prospect of two longtime friends bridging continents in the name of life, art, and friendship is a storyline that no soap writer could have penned better. So here's to Susan Flannery's next act. May her days be filled with cherished moments with her grandchildren, her nights tinged with the excitement of fresh creative challenges, and her heart buoyed by the knowledge that some bonds, like the one she shares with Catherine Kelly Lang, are immune to time zones. And to fans of the bold and the beautiful, take solace in knowing that although Stephanie Forrester's iconic presence may no longer grace your screens, the woman who embodied her will always remain a shining example of where passion, talent, and family converge. Here's wishing Susan all the luck in her new home, and, as Brooke herself might say, darling, you simply must come back and visit.